let's continue Federalism chapter. In today's class, we are going to see what makes India a federal country. India merged as an independent nation after a painful and a bloody partition. Soon after independence, several princely states become a part of the country. So, the constitution declared India as the Union of States. The constitution originally provided for a two-tier system of government. The union government, or what we call it as a central government, representing the union of government and the state government. Later, the third tier of federalism was added in the form of panchayats and municipalities. So, in the second point, the constitution originally provided the two tiers of government. What are those two tiers of government? We'll be calling it as a union government or a central government. Second one, state governments. And at the later, they formed the third tier of federalism, which were added in the form of panchayats and municipalities. The fourth one, the constitution contains three lists: union list, state list, concurrent list. In union list, which includes subject of national importance such as defense of the country, foreign affairs, banking, communication and currency. So those subjects will be included in a union list. So they are included in the list because we need a uniform policy on this matter throughout the country. So the union government alone can make law relating to the subjects mentioned in the union list. So they have included this list because we need a uniform policy. Apart from that, the union government alone can make any laws which are relating to the subjects which mentioned in the union list. Now let's move on to the state list. State list contains subjects of states and local importance such as police, trade, commerce, agriculture, irrigation. So in this, the state government alone can make laws relating to the subjects which were mentioned in the state list. And the last one, concurrent list. The concurrent list includes subject of common interest to both union as well as the next one, state government. Yes, such as education, forest, trade union, marriage, adoption and succession. So those subjects will include both union government as well as the state governments. So both the union as well as the state government can make the law on the subjects which were mentioned in the list. So these are the three lists. Yes, which contains of three lists. Yes, now union list, state list and the last one, concurrent list. Yes, now let's move on to union list, state list, concurrent list. Union list as subject of national importance, state list as subject of local and state importance, concurrent as subject of common interest both to center as well as the state. Next, union alone can make law, but in the state government alone can make law, but in the concurrent it both the center and the state can frame the laws. Now at the last, which are the subjects which come under in a union list? I've said you already: defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication. Which are the subjects list which come under in a state list? Police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. And the third one, concurrent list: education, forest, trade, union, marriage, adoption and succession. So in this, both will take a decision. Both the union as well as the state governments can make the law on the subjects which mentioned in the list. Yes, now, so this were the things what makes India a federal country. I've said to you about what are the subjects list which come under in a union list, state list and concurrent list. Now, how is federalism practiced? Yes, constitutional provisions are necessary for the success of federalism, but these are not sufficient. So in the economy, constitutional provisions are necessary. But for success of federalism, these were not sufficient. Yes, if the federal experience has succeeded in India, it is not merely because of clearly laid out constitutional provisions. The real success of federalism in India can be attributed to the nature of domestic policies in our country. Linguistic state. The first point, the creation of linguistic states was the first and major test for democratic policies in our country. So, the creation of linguistic state is one of the first and foremost test for domestic policies in our country. Yes, and then in this, many old states have vanished and many new states have been created. Yes, yes. When you look at the map, a political map of India, when it began its journey on democracy in 1947, in 2013, you will be surprised by extent of the changes. Many old states have vanished and many new states have been created. Yes, in 1947, the boundaries of several old states of India were changed into order to create new states. And this was done to ensure that people who spoke the same language live in the same states. See how they have denoted? They have denoted that the people, those who speak the same language, they will be living in same states. Next, when the demand for the formation of states on the basis of language was raised, some national leaders feared that it would lead to the disintegration of the country. Yes, but the experience have shown that the formation of linguistic state has actually made the country more united. It has also made administration easier. Yes, so linguistic state, a different language speaks, will be calling it as a speaker, will be calling it as a linguistic state. Now let's move on to the other one, language policy. The second test for Indian Federation is a language policy. Our constitution did not give the status of national language to any one language. Our constitution did not give the status of national language to any one language. Yes, Hindi was identified as the official language. Yes, but Hindi is a mother tongue of only about 40% of Indians. Therefore, there were many safeguards to protect other languages. Yes, besides this, Hindi, there are 21 other languages recognized as the scheduled languages by the Constitution. Yes, that's what I have just told you. So, in the fifth point, they were telling that the central government responded by agreeing to the continue to use of English along with the Hindi for the official purpose. I will just tell you that. So, in this what happened? The 21 other languages was recognized as the scheduled languages by the Constitution, and a candidate in an examination conducted by the central government position may opt to take any of the examination in any of these languages. Yes, in the next point, in the fifth point, the central government have announced or responded by agreeing that continue the use of English along with Hindi for the official purposes, because many non-Hindi speaking states demanded that the use of English continue. Yes, in Tamil Nadu, this movement took a violent form. So, the central government responded by agreeing it to continue the use of English along with Hindi for the official purposes. So, promotion does not mean that central government can impose Hindi on state where people speak different languages. Yes, now I will just move to the other one, center-state relationship. Restructuring the center-state relation in one more way in which federalism has been strengthened in practice. This is the third way. The center and state relation is one of the way to federalism has been strengthened in the practice. In 1990, there was a rise of regional political parties in many states of the country. This was also the beginning of era of coalition government at the center. Since no single party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha, so the major national party had led to enter into an alliance with many parties. So what happened in the Lok Sabha? No single party got a clear majority. So the major national party had led to enter into an alliance with many parties. This led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for autonomy of state culture. And at the last, thus federal power sharing is more effective today than it was in the earlier year, after the constitution came into force. So because of federalism, the power sharing is a more effective form than the earlier one, and after the constitution came into force. So in this concept, we have discussed about those points like how what makes India a federal country and what are the contents with three lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. And how is federalism practiced? And we have discussed about linguistic state, language policy, center-state relations. Yes? Thank you, students.